Assalamu alaikum. So as I said at the start of the course that you can eat and drink during the class as well. But the only thing is when I eat and drink, you can see me. Anyways, but now you will only see the tea. So we are going to continue with the topic of volume studies, and yesterday we solved the examples related to limited network studies. So we saw how we can calculate the coverage count data using the control count locations data. Okay, and we solved a few examples actually, because there was one example which was repeated with different cases, and then there was another example with the 12-hour period and the axis, the axial count. So today we start with the concept of vehicle miles traveled, VMT, vehicle miles traveled. Okay, so VMT stands for vehicle miles traveled, and similarly you can have VKT as well, which is vehicle kilometers traveled. Okay, so depending upon your unit system, you can change vehicle miles to vehicle kilometers, no problem. Okay, so what is vehicle miles traveled or vehicle kilometers traveled? This gives you the, first of all, how it is calculated. You take the volume of the segment of the highway and multiply by the length of the highway. Okay, simple. Take the volume, multiply by the length. This will give you vehicle miles traveled or vehicle kilometers traveled depending upon the units of the length. Now, what is the function? What is the purpose of having vehicle miles traveled or vehicle kilometers traveled? The function is that you can know the demand of the highway in terms of, or the importance of the highway in terms of its usage. Okay, it gives you the usage of the highway, the use of the highway, how frequently the highway is used. Now, I think any item will be considered to have higher usage if more people are using it, or less people are using it but for a longer time period. Okay, for example, now this example just came in my mind. I think because of the barakah of the salah, I just prayed and came back. So for example, you live in your house. Now in your house you have somebody living like 24 hours. There's already there's always someone there. Okay, so the usage of the house is maybe by 2 or 3 people. Okay, or in your case, mashallah, it may be for more people, but it is for the whole day. Let's say you have a hotel room. Okay, that hotel room is also used by the same number of people. One hotel room, let's say, is booked by 2 or 3 people, but those 2 or 3 people only live there maybe 2 or 3 days in a week. Okay, so which one has more usage? Also, the number of users are the same. 2 or 3 people in the house, one flat, 2 or 3 people in the hotel room as well, but that hotel room is only occupied for 2 or 3 days of the week. Okay, so which one will have a higher importance, the your flat or the hotel room? Obviously your flat has more higher importance because you are using it 24/7. So if there's a problem with your flat, then obviously you will have like you will you will be bothered more because you need your flat for the whole day and all the days of the week. Okay, similarly, if you have a lab and you have a classroom, okay, both may be used by same number of students, but the lab will have less importance because it is used maybe only by the students of one course, but the classroom is used throughout the day by different students of different courses. But at a time you may have the same number of students in the lab and the class, but the lab has less usage, okay, in terms of time, and the class has more usage. Similarly, if you have an auditorium, then auditorium is maybe used once or twice a week, but that is used by 1000 people. Okay, so that becomes more important because of the number of users. Same thing with the highway. You have the same number of users for 2 segments. One segment is only 500 meters, the other segment is 2 kilometers. Okay, so if there's a problem with that 500-meter segment, there will not be much effect. Okay, although the same number of people are using it, but if there's a problem, even if there's a small problem, that 2 kilometer segment, you will see the problem. You will see the congestion and you will see the effect even to the other highways as well. Okay, so this is why we calculate vehicle miles traveled, so that we can combine both aspects of use of the highway, the number of users as well as the length of the highway. Okay, so let's say for this, the network which we solved in the first example yesterday, and the 3-day example. Okay, we collected these are the data for 3 days, and then we calculate the average 8-hour count for the 3 days. So these are the average 8-hour count for the 3 days for all the locations, including the control count location and the 6 coverage count locations. Okay, and just hypothetically, just by chance, they are saying every link has the same length. Link meaning the segment. So all stations are on segments which have this much length. This is just by a chance. This is not a practical example. This is hypothetical, because practically each one will have its own length. All segments cannot be of the same length. Okay, but just for the sake of this example, they are saying every link and the segment has the same length, which is 0.25 miles. So you take this value 6967 multiplied by 0.25, you get the vehicle miles traveled of link on which you had station A, and then you take 5159, which is a average 8-hour count for station A, and you multiply with the length of the link, you get 1289.75, which is the vehicle miles traveled on the link which had a station 1. Okay, so you have vehicle miles traveled for each link, and then you add them together, you will get vehicle miles traveled for the entire limited network. This network, okay, the network which was around these stations. Okay, this diagram is a representation of the the volume. The volume. Okay, we call it a network flow diagram. Okay, it's a sketch of the area in which you conducted the study. So first of all, you prepare the sketch. Now, why I'm saying this is a sketch, not drawing, because drawing is to the scale. This is not to the scale. Okay, why it's not to the scale? So first of all, you prepare the sketch. Okay, and then you write down the volume along each street. So 1200 is the volume for this street, 1100 is the volume for this street, 7600 is for this road, and 7300 for this road, and so on. Okay. Now you see, for example, if you take this road's width is changing at different segments. So this segment is wider as compared to this one. Okay, and the change in width is very slight. It's not too much. You compare this street with this one, the change is very big, but you can compare the width of this segment, the change is very small. Okay, so why this change is happening? Usually a road has uniform width from start to end. So this should have uniform width maybe from start to end. But why the width is changing here? Because of the volume. In a network flow map, the width represents the volume. More width means more volume, less width means less volume. And the scale is given here. So if the width is up to this much, then the volume is up to 2000 vehicles, I think, per hour. Okay, so approximately this. And if the width is up to this level, up to this much, then the volume is up to 4000 vehicles per hour, and so on. Okay, so this segment has the highest width because it has the highest volume. Actually, its width may be equal to the other segments, but in the network flow map, it will show wider because it has more volume. Similarly, the width of this street, which has a volume of 1200 vehicles per hour, take this one, 1100 vehicles per hour, the width of this street will be the narrowest, the least, because it has the least volume. Okay, again, its actual width may be similar or equal to the other segments as well, but because it has less volume, so its width is also less. And let us talk about statewide counting programs. So we have talked about limited network study. A statewide counting program is a network study of a bigger scale. So in a statewide counting program, your network is the whole state. Okay, now if you are living in United States, then one state means one part of the country, right? If you are living in Saudi Arabia, then you may call it a province. If you are living in Bahrain, then you may call it a governorate, right? So a state is a part of the country, okay, an administrative part of the country, okay. In case of smaller countries like Bahrain, Singapore, and other small countries, a state you can cover the whole country as well as one state. You can consider the whole country as one network, okay. So statewide counting programs are conducted by the national organizations, the transportation authorities, ministries. Okay, and their purpose is to find out AADT. What do we mean by AADT? Average annual daily traffic. Okay, so like we saw in the previous studies, that the time interval, that the study period was 8 hours, 12 hours, and the number of days were taken for 1 week or 3 days. But in this case, for statewide counting program, your time period is the whole 24 hours and your study period is the whole year. Okay, so you're trying to find out 24-hour average 24-hour volume for the whole year on all the locations on your entire state network. Okay, now so ADT is the average for the whole year, but within the whole year you will have shifts in volume. I showed you some graphs at the start of this topic where the volume was changing between weekdays and weekends and between different months of the year and so on. So each day of the week may have a different value and each month may have a different average traffic. Okay, so they in a statewide counting program, they also study the shifts in ADT. ADT meaning average daily traffic. So we have annual average daily traffic, which is for the whole year, and then we have ADT, which is for less than 1 year. So within a year, the traffic may change from one season to another season, 1 month to another month. So they also study how that shift in average traffic is happening in different time periods. Okay, and the last thing they want to calculate is vehicle miles traveled, so that they know the usage or importance of each segment of the highway. Okay, the first step in a statewide program is to classify your roads according to their functional classification. Okay, so we have studied functional classification in the highway engineering course, which was the main classes were arterials and collectors and local streets, and then within them you may have sub classification as well. Principal arterials, major arterials, minor arterials, major collector, minor collector. So whatever classes you want to make, you make them, and then you identify the highways belonging to each class. Okay, then for each class of highway, you will have a set of control and coverage points. You will have a set of control and coverage count locations for each type of classification. Okay, so this is the same restriction which we had for the limited network study as well, right? So if you have a different type of highway, then there should be a different control point on that highway. Okay, and obviously in a statewide counting program, you are considering the whole state. So obviously you will have all types of highways. So you will need control point on all types of highways. You will not work with one control point for the entire network. It will not be possible, right? You cannot have an entire state which has only one type of highway. It's not possible. So you will establish some control count locations on each type of highway, and around that location you will establish coverage count locations as well for the same type. Okay, around that. So you cannot have control count on an arterial in Manama, and you are saying, okay, this control count is even enough for a coverage count location in Ali, even if it is on an arterial. The area is too far from each other, right? The areas are too far from each other. So you have a set of control and coverage count locations for each type of highway which are close to each other. Okay, so they behave like a set. So statewide counting programs, as I said, the counting period, the study period is the whole year. Okay, and obviously you are in the government. You are the authority, the transportation management authority. So your work is not done in 1 year. It's your continuous responsibility to look out for the highways, right? So statewide counting programs are done repetitively each year. Okay, so your work is never finished. This is what I'm saying. Your work is never finished. You do it for the whole year and then you start again from the next year. Okay, so each year you will have a different set of data and you have to keep on doing it because your responsibility to look after the highways for the whole time period, right? Then when you are selecting the control and coverage count locations, then these are the you have to follow these guidelines. First of all, you have a coverage count location at every 2 mile segment, okay, or 3 kilometers segment. So after every 2 kilometers, 2 miles or 3 kilometers, you should have a coverage count location, except for low volume roads. If you have a low volume road, then you do not need to make any counting location on that road. What do we call as a low volume road? A road which has AADT of less than 1,000 vehicles per day. any segment which has less than 1000 vehicles per day as an average traffic, you can neglect it, you can avoid it, you can leave it. Okay. As we said, we need ADT for each coverage location. Now, as we have said in the previous examples, whatever you are saying for the coverage location must also be true for the control location as well. You saw in the previous examples, since the data on the coverage location was for 4 hours, so the data on the control location was also for 4 hours. If there was a 15-minute gap for the coverage location, then we also put a 15-minute gap in the control count location. So when we say we need ADT on coverage count location, that means we need ADT on the control count location as well. This is understood. Okay, whatever you are saying about the time period and the study data, this is for all for coverage point, also for the ratio between control count and coverage count location for limited network was 1:20. Maximum was 1:20. For statewide program, you can go up to 1:50 as well, because the network is so big. The network is so big that you have to increase the ratio. Otherwise, you will have so many control count locations which you cannot manage. So we have to increase the ratio, and we increase it up to 1:50 as well. So if you have 50 coverage locations in the same region for the same type of highway, even if you have one control count location, it is enough. Okay. For the same region, again, I'm saying you have to keep in mind the restrictions which we have. Okay, so arterial 50 coverage count locations in the same region on an arterial should have one control count location in the same region for the arterials. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, so in one region you have only 30 coverage count locations. So you say, okay, 1:50 is not reached, so why not connect it with the control count which is in the other city? No. Okay, it's the same region. Now, control count locations can be divided into 3 categories for a statewide program. For a statewide program, control count locations can be divided into 3 categories. These categories are permanent, major, and minor control counts. Okay, I will tell you in the next slide what do we mean by permanent, major, and minor. But keep in mind, for statewide counting programs, control counts can be permanent, major, or minor. Coverage count locations should be at least observed for 2 hours. Coverage count data should be at least taken for 2 hours, and you can go up to 48 hours as well. But you would very rarely see coverage count data taken for more than 1 day. 1 day meaning 24 hours, right? 48 hours means 2 days. So normally coverage count data is restricted to few hours or maybe to the whole day. Okay, but as I said, as I said, 48 is even up to 48 is enough, is allowable. Okay, these are the coverage control count locations for Bahrain. Okay, some of them are permanent, which are given with I don't know what you call this, pink color. Okay, then you have some green color boxes which are the signal site, the sites where you have the signals, and then you have some temporary sites on which they have taken data, maybe using some road tubes or something. Okay, so these are, I think, I do not know the name of the colors. I should work on that. But anyway, the circles are representing the temporary sites, and these are along the major arteries. These are along the major arteries in Bahrain. Okay, a project group of mine took this data in 2015 from the Ministry of Works. Okay, so just to give you an idea. Okay, you will not use it. Okay, but just to give you an idea, the major arterials are taken as, you know, we have so many control count locations in the major arterials. So what is the difference between permanent, major, and minor control count location? At permanent control count location, you will have a permanent detector or a sensor. Okay, so that detector will be installed there, and it will take the continuous flow of volume for the entire air without any breaks, and you can use the data, you can access the data remotely. So some data collectors, some sensors come with the IP addresses and some with net connections and other types of connections. So you can access the data from your data center or from your control center. Okay, and there are some sensors and detectors where you can go to the detector, you will have a port, and you can insert it like a USB cable or something. You will download the data and come back. Okay, so it's like a 5 minutes process. So it's a permanent detector. You cannot take out the detector and come to your office with the detector just to download the data. So your permanent detectors have to come with the technology so that you can access the data while the detector is in place. Then we have major and minor control counts which are taken using portable counters and tubes. So we have already done a couple of examples using road tubes, right? One was done yesterday. Okay, and then we have portable counters as well. So portable, you carry them with you, you put them on the field, and you leave them there until your work is done. Once your work is done, you can carry the counters or tubes with you, and you can download the data in your office while the counter is with you. Now, what is the data? So you do it for major and minor control count locations. Major control count location is a location on which the data is taken for 1 week in each month of the year. For 1 week in each month of the year. So 7 days in each month of the year, you have the data for major control count. Minor control count data is taken for 5 days in every season of the year. Season means 3-4 months. Season doesn't mean that you start, wait for the weather to cool down or then become hot again. No, season means 3-4 months. Okay, because you would say, okay, in Bahrain we have same weather for 7-8 months, so we'll only collect it for 5 days in the whole year. No. Okay, 3-4 months. Okay, so 5 days. Which 5 days? Weekdays. When I say 5 days, it mainly refers to the weekdays. Okay, so for us, Sunday to Thursday. For US or other countries in the world, Monday to Friday. Okay, now what is the use of the control count data? What is the use of the control count data? The use of the control count data is mainly to calculate the adjustment factors for each day and each month of the year. Okay, now we have calculated adjustment factors for the limited network study as well. That was also for each day of the week, right? Or for the days of the week in which the data was taken. So similarly, you calculate the adjustment factor for each day of the week using the control count data as well. Now, how did we calculate the adjustment factor? You took the average of the entire time period. So for a statewide program, what is my entire time period? The whole year. So average of the whole year will be known as AADT, right? So first of all, calculate AADT for the entire year using the control count data, and then divide the volume taken for a day with the average. You will get the adjustment factor of that day, like we did for the previous examples. Okay. So for example, this is the data taken from a control count location. In this data, you can see we have given average volume for each day of the week. Okay, so for example, 1820 is the average volume for Mondays. So they have collected data on all the Mondays of the year. Okay, so in 1 year you have around 52 Mondays. Okay, so you took those 52 values and take the average. So that becomes the ADT for Monday, average daily traffic for Monday. Okay. So you have average daily traffic for Tuesday as well, which is for all the Tuesdays of the year and so on. Okay, so this is vehicles per day for each day of the week, and the data is collected for the entire year. Now, if you want AADT, then you take the average of these 7 values. So the total of these 7 values is 10,010, and you divide by 7, you get 1430. So AADT is 1430 vehicles per day. Okay. Then if you want the adjustment factor for Monday, they call it the daily adjustment factor. You will take AADT and divide with the ADT of Monday. Okay, so 1430 divided by 1820 gives the adjustment factor for Monday. Okay, and same thing for Tuesday. Okay, the average will remain the same because this is for the entire year, and you divide with the average of Tuesday, you get 0.9 adjustment factor for Tuesday and so on. Okay, now you can see some adjustment factors are less than 1, some are more than 1. So when the adjustment factor will be less than 1, the adjustment factor will be less than 1 is the traffic of that day is more than the average, right? See, for Monday and Tuesday, average of Monday is more than the overall average AADT. So the factor is less than 1. Same thing for Tuesday, but the average for Wednesday is less than the overall average. So the adjustment factor is more than 1, right? If you put a lower number in the denominator, you will get more than 1, right? So the point here is when the adjustment factor is lower, what does it say about the traffic? The traffic is higher. When the adjustment factor was lower, the traffic was higher than the average. Okay, so the relationship between the traffic of the day and the adjustment factor of that same day is inversely proportional, right? Inversely proportional. When traffic increases, adjustment factor decreases. You can see it in the plot as well. So they have plotted the adjustment factors, which I showed you in the previous table. Okay. So lowest adjustment factor is for Monday. That means the highest traffic is for Monday. Okay. And the highest adjustment factors are for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That means the traffic is the lowest here. Okay. So it seems like they have taken data from Bahrain, right? The weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, they belong to us. So they have stolen our data. And now they are showing it in their book. Anyways, we can allow them. Similarly, you can calculate monthly adjustment factors as well. Okay, so again, for monthly adjustment factors, you need AADT, and then you divide the AADT with the average traffic of that month. Average traffic of that month. So again, this is the data from a permanent control count location. So you have the total traffic in each month of the year. Okay, so if you want AADT, you take the total of the whole year, total of this whole column, and divide by 365, which is the number of days in the year, you'll get AADT. So total was 290,851 divided by 365, you get 797 vehicles per day. 797 vehicles per day. So this is the AADT for this location. This is what it is for the entire year. Okay. Now, if you want average traffic for each month, take the total traffic divided by the number of days of that month. Okay. So 19,840 divided by 31, which is the number of days in January, you get vehicles per day, or ADT for January. ADT meaning average daily traffic, and ADT is annual average daily traffic. Okay. Similarly, you take February total volume divided by 28, which is the number of days in February, you get 595. Okay, and so on. Okay, so you need total traffic and the number of days in that month. Now, and we did a very similar example in the traffic data collection chapter as well. I think no, it was the traffic parameters, where we discussed the volume, density, and these things. In that chapter, we did very similar example when we were discussing different types of average volumes. We did this type of an example. Okay, so you can see each volume is divided by the month, the number of days in the month. Okay, and just to emphasize that each month of the year has a different number of days. Okay, why I'm saying this, because I gave this question in at one time in the exam, and the students were asking me how many days we have in the month. If you don't know that, you need a lot of work. Okay, and I cannot help you. Sorry, but I cannot help you. Okay, you need to see the calendar. Okay, and somehow you will have to memorize it. Okay, but anyways, all months of the year. So when I asked them to assume, everybody assumed 30 days, even for February, 30 days. Okay, this is I don't know how this happened, but it has happened. Okay, so every month of the year has a different number of days: 31, 30, 28, 29. Okay, you need to look for that. So we have ADT for each month, and we have the AADT for the whole year. If you want the adjustment factor for each month, then you take AADT and divide it by the ADT of the month. Okay, so 797, which is the AADT, divided by 640, which is ADT for January. So 1.25 is the adjustment factor for January. Okay, then 797 divided by 595, which is the ADT for February. You get the adjustment factor for February, and so on. Okay, again, you have the same relationship. The traffic in January, February, and March is higher, so the adjustment, the January, February, and March is lower, so the adjustment factors are higher, and vice versa. For April and May and June and July, the adjustment factors are lower. That means the traffic is higher. Okay, and so on. Again, this is the plot of the adjustment factors. Okay, so the lowest adjustment factor is in August. Now keep in mind, this is at 0.8. The last value, you can see the least value on the y-axis is 0.8. Okay, so this is not 0. Adjustment factor cannot be 0. Adjustment factor cannot be 0, because 0 means what? No ADT, which is not possible. In the whole year, you don't have any traffic. Not possible. So August has the least adjustment factor and the highest traffic. Okay. Now let us do this example. This example is slightly different from the previous examples because the previous two examples were for permanent control count location. So you had the complete data. You had the data for all days of the year, and you had the data for all months of the year as well. Okay, so it was easier to work with. You took the overall average and so on. But what if the data is taken from a major or minor control count location? So these two tables are showing you the data which are taken for the same segment, okay, but I don't know what is the reason, but for this segment they took the data in third week of every month. So we have the table at the bottom which represents the average traffic. So this is an average value for the third week of each month. So the data was taken for 7 days. They did not give me those 7 values. Instead, they gave me this average of those 7 values. So this 2250 is the average traffic in the third week of January, and 2200 is the average traffic for the third week of February, and so on. Okay. So this is the data which you will get from a major control count location. This is a sort of data which you will get from a major control count location. And then we have this table, okay, where you can see the data is taken for 7 days. You can see all the 7 values, but for every 4th month, that meaning every season, right? So every season, for every season, I have a week value. Okay, so the data is taken for the 7 days, and I have it for each season. Okay, so you have the data for April, then sorry, for January, then April, then July, and then October. Okay, first of all, I forgot to mention one point, that minor control point is taken for 5 days. Okay, the weekdays. Okay, so minimum number of days for which the data is taken for a control count location in one study is 5 days. Okay, and I showed you the maximum number of days for which the data is taken for a coverage count location is 2 days, 48 hours. Okay, so coverage count location data is always less than the control count location data, irrespective of the type of control count location. Okay, now so they are asking me to find out the daily and the monthly adjustment factors. Okay, for this location. Now first of all, I must find out AADT. To find out AADT, first of all, I should know for how many days the data was collected, because in the previous examples the data was collected for the full year. Okay, so if they gave me the data for the days of the week, I know there were 7 days in the week, and I have the data for all the days, and they have already done the average for the whole year. So I took the average for the 7 days. Similarly, in the previous example, for the monthly adjustment factor, I had the traffic for each month, so no problem. The full traffic was given, and there was no problem. So I divided by 365, right? So whatever data was available, I divided by the total number of days. But here, the total number of days in the week or the total number of days in the year. But here, the position is slightly different. The data is not taken for 365 days. Okay, the data is not taken for 365 days. For how many days the data is taken? So you have 7 days taken in 4 months. 7 into 4 is 28. So in the first table, you have data from 28 days. Okay. In the second table, I have the data which is taken in 12 months, and in each month the data was taken for the entire week. So 1 week means 7 days again. So the data in the second table represents how many days? 7 into 12. 12 months and 7 days in each month. So how many days you get? Seven to anyways, 84 days, right? So 84 days of data is given in the second table, and this first table has 28 days of data. Okay, 7 days in 4 months, so 28 days in total. So total number of days in which the data is taken is 28 plus 84, which is 112. So total number of days for which the data is taken is 112. Okay, now, so I must find out the total traffic and divide by 112 because the data is taken for 112 days. Okay, now what is total traffic? Which is summation of all the given values, right? Summation of all the given values. So take the summation of all the values from the first table, okay, plus all the values given in the second table multiply by 7. So all the values in the second table must be multiplied by 7 to get the totals. Why? Because each value is an average for 7 days. Okay, so when you are dividing with 112, then you must multiply each value with 7 as well. Okay, so each value represents 7 days. So each value from the second table must be multiplied by 7. Each value in the first table represents 1 day of traffic. So I will just take it as it is. Okay, so to calculate AADT, take all the values from the first table plus the values in the second table after multiply by 7. And then you take the summation of all these values, divide by 112. Okay, so all the values in the first table plus these values into 7, and then after adding you divide by 112. So AADT will come out to be 1958 vehicles per day. 1958 vehicles per day. Okay, so this is the AADT. Now if you want monthly adjustment factor, then you take the average of the month, you take AADT divided by the average of the month. Okay, so first of all, let us talk about January. I need average traffic of January. Okay, now for January I have 2 weeks of data. First week in table 1 and the third week in table 2. Okay, so in the first week just add all the values. Okay, so 7 values are given. I will add all these values plus again this value multiply by 7 because this value represents 7 days. Okay, so for January I basically have 2 weeks of data. First week from table 1, second and the third week from table 2. By third week I mean the other week in which the data was taken. Okay, so this, so these are the 7 values from the first table plus the value from the second table multiplied by 7. Okay, so now 7 plus 7 makes it 14. So for January ADT will be this whole thing upon 14, which will be 2032 vehicles per day. So if you want AADT, sorry, if you want adjustment factor for January, it will be 1958, which is the AADT upon ADT of January, which is 2032. Okay, for February, it's very easy because for February, I don't have any other week. For February, I have just 1 week of data, which is in the second column, and this is already an average. So you don't have to multiply, divide with anything. This is an average value for 1 week and the data is for 1 week. The only available data is for 1 week, no problem. Just take 2200. Okay, so 1958 divided by 2200 will give you, I think there's a calculation problem here, but for adjustment factor of January, it will be 1958 upon 2200. 1958 upon 2200. Okay, and then for March, same thing. Average traffic is 2000, so 1958 upon 2000 will give you the adjustment factor of March. Okay, April, you have to do the same thing which you did for January. Okay, so take the 7 values given in the first table plus the value given in the second table into 7. Okay, and then you divide the whole thing by 14. You will get the average traffic of April, which is 1915, and then you divide AADT with 1915. You get the adjustment factor of April, and so on. So the months in which there is data given in only table 2, you don't have to do anything. Just take AADT and divide by that value because that value is already an average for the only week in that month. But if the values are given for a month in both the tables, then you have to add them together. And when you are adding the values from the second table, you have to multiply by 7 because each value is for 7 days. Okay, so this is how you calculate the adjustment factors for the month in this case. Now for the daily adjustment factor, so in the second table, no day is mentioned. So I cannot use the data from the second table for calculating daily adjustment factors. Okay, because in the second table they said, okay, in January the traffic is 2,250 for the whole week. Okay, in the whole week I have all the days, so I cannot use that value, right? So the only values which I can use for the daily adjustment factors are the values from the table table 1. Okay, so in table 1, each day of the week has 4 values. So you take the average of these 4 values. So for Monday, you take the average of 2000, 1900, 1700, 2100. So the average will be 1925, and then you take ADT divided by 1925. Okay, so for Monday, average of these values, and then you take ADT 1958 divided by 1925, you get the adjustment factor of Monday. Okay, and so on. So this is how you calculate the adjustment factor for Monday, for the days of the week, just using the data from table 1, because in table 2 days are not mentioned. Okay. Now this is a concept which we'll discuss today, but we will do some examples tomorrow. Okay, which is grouping of control count locations for a statewide program. Now in the whole state, since your network is so big, you will have many control count locations even for the same type of highway. Your network is so big because what we said at the start when we started the limited network study, that all links, all segments in your network must be counted. All links in your network must be either a control count location or garbage count location. So if your network is the entire region, then you can imagine how many links and segments you have. You will have thousands of them. So for thousands of links and segments, you will have to establish many control count locations, because then we have the restriction of the ratio, right? So for every 50 coverage count locations, you need a control point. So if you have thousands of coverage count locations, you will need maybe hundreds of control count locations. Okay, and for each control count location, you will have a different set of daily and monthly adjustment factors, like we did for the previous example. Okay, so the previous example, the data was from one location, one control count location. For that control count location, I calculated daily and monthly adjustment factors. Okay, similarly, for another control count location, I will have another set of factors. Okay, so if I have 20 control count locations, I will have 20 adjustment factors for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. And similarly, I will have 20 factors for January, February, March, and so on. Okay, will it not make my life easier if I can combine these factors into a single value? So instead of having 10 values or 20 values for Monday, I have a single value. Okay, this is what we call as grouping of data from control locations, meaning grouping of what? Adjustment factors. Grouping doesn't mean that I take all the traffic and make it into one value. No, grouping means the adjustment factors must be grouped together, so that instead of using a different value for each control count location, I have a single value which can work on all control count locations in that set. Okay, now the control count locations which must be grouped together, the factors can be grouped together only for those control count locations which are spatially contiguous and for the same classification of the highway. So the control count stations which you are trying to group or combine should be spatially contiguous. Spatially means in terms of space, in terms of distance. Contiguous means close to each other. Okay, so the grouping must be done for control count locations which are close to each other, and they should be for the same type of highway. Okay, so you can combine the factors from control count locations which are for arterials and which are close to each other. Okay, you can then you can combine the control count locations data for collectors as well, for control count locations which are on collectors and which are close to each other. Okay. Secondly, contiguous also means that the factors should also be similar to each other. The factors which you are combining. First of all, what do we mean grouping or combining? Okay. So if I have 10 values of Monday, adjustment factor for Monday, if I want to group them together, then I will use their average. Instead of using a single value each time, I will combine all the 10 values, I will calculate one average, and that one average will be used on all these 10 points, okay, or any other connected point. So combining or grouping means taking the average. Okay. Now, for which factors can be grouped together? For which factors you can use the average instead of individual values? The condition is given here. The condition is the difference between the average and each individual value must not be more than plus minus 0.1. The difference between the average of all the factors. Okay, so if I have 10 values for Monday, then you calculate the average of these 10 values. The difference between this average and each value for Monday should not be more than plus minus 0.1. Okay, let me give an example here. Okay, and you should tell me what is the value here. So for example, I have 5 control count locations. On each control count location, I've calculated data for adjustment factor of Monday. Now this data is as follows: 1.02, 1.05, 0.98, 0. Let's say 97, and 1.03. Okay. Now what is the average of these? How much average you will get if you take the average of these 5 locations? How much will you get? Yes, average. .01. So I can use this average if the difference between this value and each of the values, each of these 5 values is not more than plus minus 0.1. In this case, obviously all values are within plus minus 0.1 from the average. So I can use, instead of these 5 values, I can use 1.01. Okay, you get my point now? So first of all, calculate the average for the factors which you want to group. Okay, and then take the difference of the average with each value in that group, and if the difference is not more than plus minus 0.1, that means instead of using each value, you can use the average. Okay, tomorrow we will do some examples as well. Don't worry, tomorrow we will do some examples on grouping. Now if you have any questions, you can ask me, otherwise I will go for the attendance. And if you see your name on the screen, please raise your hand. Dua Rabi. Dua Rabi, Amna Muhammad, Muhammad Usama, Amal Abdullah. Amna is here. Muhammad Usama, Amal Abdullah. Usama is here. Amal Abdullah, Muhammad Numan, Ali Muhammad, Hakima Ali is here, I think. Hakima Ali is here. Muhammad is not here. Muhammad Numan is here. Okay. Amal Abdullah, not here. Zahra Sayyid, Fawaz Adil, Abdullah Jaliluddin. Fawaz Adil is here. Ali, you came. You solved your internet connection. So Zahra Sayyid, Abdullah Jaliluddin. Abdullah Jaliluddin is here. Zahra is here. Okay, Abdul Rahman Ibrahim. Nujud Salah, Nadine Hussam. Nadine is here. Okay. Nujud Salah, Abdul Rahman Ibrahim. Is here. Rahman Ibrahim, raise your hand. Zahra Riyad, Abu Bakr is here. Okay, fine. Zahra Riyad, Zainab Ali Ahmad. Zahra is here. Zainab Ali Ahmad, Mariam Abdul Amir. Zainab is here. Mariam Abdul Amir, Majd Bashar, Asil Hassan. Mariam is here. Asil is here and Majd is here. Okay. If I took your attendance, you can leave. If I took your attendance, you can leave. Ali Mustafa, Laila Ahmad, Hamad Khalid. Ali Mustafa, Laila Ahmad, Hamad Khalid. Hamad is here. Okay. Abdullah Husamuddin. Latifa Ahmad, Fatma Abdali. Latifa is here, Abdullah is here. Fatma Abdali, Zainab Abdali. Zainab Abdulal. Abdullah is here, Zainab Abdali is here, okay. Ala Salman, Isra, and Ali Abdul Razak. Isra is here. Ali Abdul Razak is here. Elizabeth Ann, Ali Makki, and Ibrahim Muhammad. Ali Makki is here. Ibrahim is here. Elizabeth Ann, not here. Okay, anybody left from this section? Anybody left from this section? Everybody done from this section? Okay, I'm going to the other section now. People from the other section. Okay, Huda. Okay, who else? Yeah, Najud, I marked you. Okay, who else from the Sara, Ahmad Amin, Muhammad Khalid. Okay, Ahmad Amin is here. Muhammad Khalid is here. Sara is here. Yeah, Zainab, I marked you. Did I mark you? Yeah, Zainab marked. Anybody else? Fatma Ahmad. Okay, anybody else? Mahmoud Adil. Okay, Mahmoud done. Okay, done everybody? Okay, see you guys tomorrow inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.